Alright, this is Unit 3 for polynomials. We're looking at day 4, and we're going to do all the examples on this page. So here we're just applying the exponent properties. So for each situation, you have to figure out which property you'll be using. For number 1, this is a power being raised to a power. Anytime you have a power to a power, you multiply. So I'm going to take the 2 on the outside and multiply it by the exponent on the inside, which is the 2n plus 1. So multiplying it would get you to 4n plus 2. So that'd be choice D. Power to a power is when you multiply. For number 2, they'd like us to expand this guy inside the parentheses 4 times. So that means I should see the negative 3 4 times. And then x squared 4 times. So here's x squared, x squared, x squared, x squared. So this is the expanded version of this. For number 3, anytime you have a negative exponent, you just take the reciprocal and put it into the numerator if it's the negatives in the bottom, or vice versa. So since this one has a negative on the bottom, this means that you're going to move it to the top to get rid of the negative exponent. So this becomes this plain old x to the 8th. The rule is b to the negative x really is 1 over b to the x. And then it's vice versa. 1 over b to the negative x is b to the x. Okay, here, this time we're multiplying the same base together. So when you multiply the same base, you add the exponents. And these are not like terms, so I can't add them together. So the only option that has me adding correctly is choice A. Write 3 expressions equivalent to this guy. So one way you could do equivalence is just by multiplying the expanded form out. So this means 2x to the third is really 2x times 2x times 2x. So that's one method. Another method is to actually multiply those together. 2 times 2 is 8, and then you get x to the third. And another possible way is you could take 4 times 2 times x times x times x. There's lots of different answers to this problem, so anything that winds up being the same will be a correct answer. Alright, so here's example 5. This one's a real tricky problem. When I'm looking at these problems, I don't like dealing with negatives, so let's take care of this negative exponent first, and then we'll go from there. Remember, a power to a power, we are going to multiply. But the thing to remember, especially with these ones, is that 2 has an exponent and y has an exponent. So I'm going to multiply my exponents together. So it becomes 2 to the negative 4th times y to the negative 4th times x to the positive 8th. So notice the x stays on top. And then everything on the bottom, I'm going to combine y and y to the 4th and make y to the 5th. So now I've got all my terms together. Let me take care of those negatives. I'm going to move the 2 and the y to the denominator. So it's 2 to the first times 2 to the 4th times x to the 3rd times y to the 5th times y to the 4th. Using my exponent properties, I can do this as 2 to the 5th, x to the 3rd, and y to the 9th. You just add the exponents together for the like bases. And 2 to the 5th winds up being 32. So I have x to the 8th over 32, x to the 3rd, y to the 9th. And when you're dividing, you can subtract the exponents on similar bases. This becomes x to the 5th over 32, y to the 9th. And that's choice A.